and we'll go from there. So thank you everybody for joining, and thank you for being part of our Genius community. Got some fun things to share about terahertz. Also, we'd love to answer your questions. So if you're coming to class with questions, that's a great thing. So thank you everybody for joining. All right, that's me on YouTube. Thank you guys again for being here, and let's see what we got. All right, so we didn't quite get Benet to, Benet maybe didn't think we were having this today, so she didn't join. Oh, there she is. All right, Benet, spoke too soon. I'm glad you're joining us. I'm glad you're hopping on. And all right, so we love terahertz. It's an amazing, amazing instrument. It's an amazing therapy. It's brand new. It's something that's exciting. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the different benefits of terahertz today. Some of it is review, so please know that. The people who have been using the terahertz are absolutely like blown away by it. They're really tickled by it. They love it. Let's get Benet on in just one moment, and really, really glad that you guys are able to join us. We're also broadcasting live on YouTube, so if you need to jump off and jump back on YouTube, you can do that. If you need to jump off the Zoom, sometimes that's real convenient. All right, Benet, let's have you come up here, and we'll get started. Hello, Benet, how are you? Long time no see.
Hello, I'm well, and how are you?
I'm doing good. All right, so we've been gone for a couple of weeks because of different things that were happening. I didn't feel too well last week, so thanks everybody for being patient with me. I think we'll do this every other week, which is hard for people to keep up with, but for now, at least for the summer, we'll skip next week, then we'll be back the following week. Benet, do you have anything about terahertz and your clients that you'd like to share today?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I love it. Go for it.
I have a friend. I'll main occupation. I won't mention the occupation. I won't mention the name, but this person has cancer, and it's located in a tumor that is sitting on the side, of his neck. And it's quite large, it sticks out a good baseball size or bigger. Okay. And he is going through some alternative, methods and very, very light chemo. But the one thing I found very interesting along with him was that wand. And he started, the only thing that was giving him any kind whatsoever of pain relief was to use the wand right on the tumor. And nothing else was giving him any kind of pain relief. And so it's also diminishing. Now, I can't and won't say that that's due to the wand, but it probably does contribute, because
no, I mean, people talk about this all the time. Of course, we can't make any claims, but that's amazing. I mean, the first thing people are doing is they're having less pain in their body, and which is amazing.
Yeah. And, it is quite amazing. Like I mentioned, he is on alternative medication. I hate to use that word because it's something
supplements, right?
Yeah, it's something they've discovered actually works toward this particular cancer that actually comes from tree bark. And so he's on that with very mild, chemo. And like I said, the only thing is giving him any kind of pain relief is actually use the wand on it. And so and it is diminishing, which I'm sure it's got to do with, the combination of things or whatever. Certainly no credit for chemo, but some of these other things. And we'll see where it goes. But I was very happy for him to find out that the only thing that would help him, with the pain diminishing was the wand, because he has it.
He's using the wand?
Yeah, he's only got the wand. He
Okay.
likes the wand. I gave him the box for a while to use, and his preference is he liked the wand. So he just stuck with the
If you don't like the box for any reason, you may want to try the wand. For whatever reason, it may just be the form. It may be because it doesn't have 5 chips, it only has 1 terahertz unit, and some people are more sensitive than others. But the wand is very, very gentle. It's very relaxing. And so if the core box, you know, you weren't drawn to that, you might want to check out the wand. They're both exceptional pieces of technology, and yeah, we absolutely love them. People make terahertz water with this, which they've been finding to be amazing. I have a picture of Priscilla, you might be on with us, made an incredible tea with her terahertz water that we could show a picture of. And then Jenny in New Zealand has been sending us testimonial after testimonial after testimonial. She's having really great results with people with pain, and she's just been sending people great guns over to get a core box. She's the one who sent us those great pictures of when she terahertzes her water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Before I start, I have a hilarious addition to our remedy plate collection. Renee, look at this.
Oh, what is that?
It's a new remedy plate that we're going to be putting onto the website that has about 4 layers of sacred geometry on it, and then it radiates all these different colors, and you can imprint your media with all the different color energies and all the different sacred energy. And then even just watching it, I think will be really fascinating for your clients to see it.
Oh my goodness, that it's got sacred geometry in it. That is cool.
So we'll get it posted onto the website and take some good videos of it, but it's really a great little fun toy for your collection. We'll do some presentations because, you know, a lot of what you're doing in biofeedback is a presentation. You're entertaining people. You're helping to keep them fascinated by this. And so something like a really colorful remedy plate could be something that draws people in either to a demonstration or an in-person, maybe a trade show, something like that.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely benefits to the sacred geometry. There's benefits to
The
light.
different color lights.
Absolutely. I mean, that's all kind of compacted in there as well. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Let's talk about our wonderful terahertz. And when you see that picture there with the 5 chips, they're referring to this little guy right here, which is our terahertz core box. We've been shipping all over the world. And I shipped one to my mother, and she's been using it on her knees because her knees get sore when she goes dancing. She's really into line dancing, and her knees get sore and seems to be helping her. So that's exciting. So just congratulations to everybody, especially with our Memorial Day promotion, who got their terahertz. Thank you so much for being part of our community. It's just nice to be back with Benet and talking about terahertz. So glad you're here with us. Something about terahertz you could think about as like the rays of the sun. Like it just, when you get out in front of the rays of the sun, you feel good. The terahertz seems to just feel good on the body. And then combined with the hyperthermia and the ability to penetrate deep within the skin, it seems to go deep into the bone marrow and may even activate stem cells. So there's something very, very positive happening. Most people can feel it, experience it. It may help to clean up free radicals, help with oxidation. The most startling that we see of things like that with reducing oxidation is people's faces. When they post pictures of how they're using the terahertz, they look significantly younger. And again, can't make any claims, but it is kind of fascinating about how quickly people's, like, visually their looks, their skin seems to improve and seems to have an affinity for skin, particularly blue light is great for the health of skin, but red light is good too because it helps with the mitochondria. So I thought we'd get a picture in here today where we can kind of see where the terahertz is on the, you can see it's a little bit lower than infrared. Infrared would be like your infrared sauna, and it's a little bit higher than microwave, so it's right in here. Well, there's been research being done on this particular range of frequencies that seems to be beneficial. It seems to be therapeutic in some way. All right, so we have those great pictures. Thank you so much, Jenny, for sending these. It was really fun to just see some of the pictures of using the stand and just pushing that button and terahertzing that water. So what we're seeing in the pictures that the frequencies from, I think she has the red light on there, she turns that on, all of that energy is going into the water, being entrained into the water. And so when you drink the water, you're getting a lot of the terahertz energy. And so the combination of both blowing the terahertz units on yourself, on different parts of the body, meridian points, lymphatic drainage points, and then also drinking the water, you get sort of a dual synergistic effect, which is very positive and beneficial. So it acts on the subcutaneous tissue, helps to maintain the wellness of the cells. It helps the cells to resonate at a healthy frequency. We also have a terahertz library. So you can go to the website, geniusbiofeedback.com, and you can order the library. It's absolutely free. And then when you're running your terahertz unit, you can also be running the frequencies from your Genius at the same time. And it doesn't have to be just the terahertz frequencies. It could be the solfeggio frequencies. It could be the Nogier frequencies. There are so many things that you could run, and you could also put that into the water. So you have a really, really a lot of fun mixing up your terahertz with your Genius. Now, have you tried any of that recently, Benet?
Oh yeah, that is very beneficial to mix and do both at the same time. Do your scan on the Genius and then run those frequencies that you come up with, especially the areas or whatever that you want to target or the issues that you want to target. Then go to work and, use your wand or your box, at the same time. And I think, we've talked about this, Dr. Ariel, but I think we need to emphasize that you should not be using the box.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, say it. Yeah, thank you so much.
No more than 15 minutes, and that's too much. It's not necessary. Anywhere from 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. You do not need to be using it, but you know what you're going to run into? You're going to run into trouble if you start using it for 15 minutes and more. Because think about the size of that box, how small it is, how strong a fan with heat is coming out of such a small object. You're going to have your box fail. Because
okay, so let's put some parameters on this. So do you think it should be 30 seconds and then rest, 30 seconds and then rest?
Well, if there's two people in the household, okay, if one person wants to use it for 5 minutes, don't just automatically hand it to the next person for 5 minutes. Give some rest time where it ends up cooling off.
I really think that there's no good reason why you wouldn't just run it for 30 seconds and then let it rest, or even 1 minute and let it rest for 30 seconds. You're going to feel that it gets warm in your, not maybe from the back, but you can probably feel up here that it starts to get warm, and you want to use some common sense and just give it a moment to cool down. Now, this is something we were not clear on, so I want to apologize for that, but we want to make it super clear now to maintain the wellness and health of your unit. It is a bit sensitive, so we want to run it for 30 seconds to a minute and then rest, but also we want your body to rest. One of the things we've really learned about energy and frequency is it doesn't take a lot of time. We don't need to take a big stick and kind of hit that frequency over somebody's head. Really, a little bit of frequency goes a long way. So even 30 seconds to the lymphatic drainage point that you want, and then rest, and then another 30 seconds to maybe the Chinese meridians, and then rest. I would even say to shorten your session to maybe it's just a 5-minute session twice a day, because this is a powerful, powerful unit, especially, being 5 chips. And, we have to remember that we've actually made this really available to the layperson, like yourself, who maybe is not a professional healer. Maybe you're not a massage therapist. Maybe you're not used to using some of these technologies. And so we really want to give you a lot of support. This is in the palm of your hands. You have control, but less is more. So 30 seconds or a minute, but then rest for 30 seconds. What do you think, Benet?
The other thing is the box has got a cold setting.
Right.
I mean, run it if you want to have it cool down quicker because someone else wants to use it. I would set it on the cool setting.
Right. That's a good idea.
And I still wouldn't operate the high fan because I want to protect the tool. you know, you
Yeah.
get a
This is a
lifetime.
sensitive bugger. This is a sensitive one. And so go slow, be calm. Well, let's see if we can look at some of the what's going on here. So when we look at this, I think we can see. I don't think that's showing too well. Yeah. So there's a blue, there's a bright blue. When the bright blue light comes on, that is low heat, low fan. And when the light blue comes on, that is cool setting, high fan. Would you agree?
I think you're right. I think you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. It's when it's bright, very nice, bright blue. That is when both are going very strong. No, that's the low fan. It's cool setting, low fan. And then when you go one more, you're going to get a light blue, and that's going to be cool, but then a high fan. And what we're saying is that second setting of the bright blue light is probably a good resting setting. So if you want to keep running it, maybe rest it a little bit on the cooler setting, etc. Pretty
Right.
easy to follow. But I'm
Right.
really glad you brought that up, Benet. Yeah, we don't want to run it. And this is our fault or my fault for not being more specific. You can only know what we tell you, and I completely understand that. But yeah, it would not be advisable for really to run it for 10 minutes at a time. You want to take a break. So 30 seconds and rest, or 1 minute at the max and then rest. And then I think you're going to have a better session and it's going to make more sense. But really think less is more. Your whole body is being bathed in the frequency, and the body can heal in seconds. It's only in our Western mind that we think things are going to take so long to make a difference. Does that kind of
Yeah.
make sense, Benet?
Oh, it certainly does. And the other thing with your picture on there with the terahertzing the water,
Yeah,
why run the heat while you're terahertzing the water? Run
that's
the
a really good point. Yeah, you don't need that heat because she's
No,
got the heat on right there. Let me see if I
no,
can show that. Huh?
yeah, just
That was a good eye. You got a good eye for that. So you see this red setting that
yeah,
she's got on? So the red setting is going to indicate that there's heat running, and we don't want to do that. We want to just run it on cool. So when you're working on your water, don't waste the heat for the water, just run it on the cool setting.
yep.
All right, and just back to those settings, just to look at it. I was trying to explain this to my mother over the phone, and she was completely confused. I was like, there's 3 settings that have icons on them. This is not rocket science here, but let's go ahead and explain it anyway. So this little one here, this is going to be the on-off switch. This little one that looks like a sun is going to be switching from the red light to the blue light. So if you want red light, and we'll talk more about red light and blue light. Red light is activate your mitochondria. Blue light is activate your immune system and work on skin issues. And that's sort of a quick way of thinking about it. And then this, where you see this almost looks like maybe some steam you would have coming off of water, that's going to be choosing your heat setting. The first one is going to be warm and sort of a lower fan setting. And then the second one is going to be cool and then a lower fan setting. And then the third one is going to be cool, but then a high fan setting. And I guess there's really only 3, whereas you would think that there would be 4, right?
No, there's 3. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really only get high when you're running the cool energy for whatever reason. And I think, yes, that's sort of indicative of like when you're doing that, you would do a sweep on a high setting. I don't think there's any reason to do a high fan, just direct application. But if you're going to do a sweep from head to toe, then you might really want to get a high sort of push with the blower of the terahertz energy. All right, so let's go ahead and we're just going to look at this one. This is our 7.0 or 1,000 watts of power. Is that correct, Benet? This is 1,000.
Yes.
The other one is 750. The 6.0 is 750 watts of power. So
Right,
this is
right.
quite powerful, but it's very, it probably will still sound loud on the microphone here. I don't even know if you're hearing it. But it's actually a bit more quiet than the box. And people find the blue light and this wand very soothing, very relaxing. It also has a crystal in there that is not the same type of setup that we have with the box. The box does not have that type of crystal, right, Benay?
Right, right. Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting how different they are. And some people just resonate with one versus the other. And some people like to have both. I like to run one sometimes, I like to run the other, but I like to have the benefit of the red and the blue light. But sometimes I really just want to relax. And sometimes I really just like using the wand on its own. Are there any other ways that you break up your usage between the two personally?
I think I don't even think about it. I guess I'm just going off of intuition.
Intuition. Is there sometimes a client that you'll work on one versus the other?
With a client, because I'm not spending a lot of time doing it on their spine and on their back before I start laying hands on them, I tend to grab the box.
Okay, gotcha. Very
Yeah.
cool. Nice. All right, so these are the wand settings. So when you do first go on here, it's a low heat and high fan. And then on medium, it's high heat and low fan. And then the third one is high heat and high fan. And you can figure that out pretty fast, just holding it in your hand and feeling how warm it is and so on and so forth. So how should we make the same recommendation then for the wand? Should they be like 30 seconds to a minute on and then sort of 30 seconds of resting time?
Well, less is more, no matter which way you cut it. In all honesty, common sense, when you look at the two tools, obviously the wand is going to be able to sustain more than what that small little box is. But that being said, I still say there's absolutely no need to be using, the whole thing solid 10, 15 minutes, it just do it small segments,
Okay, excellent. Very good. All right, so use the terahertz directly on the skin when possible. When you're working on yourself, you have all the ability to have direct contact with this, not direct contact, but just that you're basically blowing directly on the skin with the terahertz technology. You're not touching the skin, so I don't want to be confusing. But when you're working on a client, obviously the rays of the terahertz, energy of the terahertz, is going to go right through clothing. So it doesn't matter. When you have the benefit of being able to go directly on bare skin, then you're probably going to get a little bit of a better effect. Make sure you drink a glass of water before you start your session. Make sure you drink a glass of water after you start your session. We always want to drink room temperature or warm water, not like ice cold or mixed with ice or anything like that. And of course, added benefit is make sure you run the terahertz frequencies from the wand or the box over the water for maybe 30 seconds or a minute. Get that terahertz frequency into the water. The water is very receptive to all types of frequencies. Masuru's Emoto, I wish we could, maybe it would be fascinating to get that type of visualization of what's happening to the crystalline structure of water. As Masaru Emoto looked at it. If anybody's able to visualize that, let us know how he looked under like a live microscope with that. And you could also bless your water at the same time as you're terahertzing it. You could say, thank you, I love you. All of those things is going to amp up the energy of the water even more.
Yep. Make your affirmations while you're doing it.
All right, well, we have a question, and everybody is welcome to ask questions either in the chat or Q&A. So this one is from Christina. Christina, welcome. My massage therapist worked on my neck all around my collarbone area. She suggested, okay, that's as a massage therapist, not with the terahertz. She suggested I apply heat this evening. What about the red setting from the box, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds rest, repeat for 5 minutes? What do you think, Vinay? What do you think?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's entirely acceptable. Yeah.
Well, it's a great idea. I really like this. And so do you have, you must be talking about the box, because obviously the red setting, you're meaning maybe red light, but you want warmth. So yeah, if you want to apply the warmth, I think that's a good cadence. 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And you may want to even rest more than 30 seconds in between. So we're saying it just for logical, helpful recommendations, but maybe you want to take 30 seconds and then just rest for a couple of minutes and then do another until you just like, okay, 30 seconds and then rest. I definitely think you're going to get the heat benefits that she recommended, and you're going to get the added benefit of really helping your cells to get well, putting that energy into the muscles, helping them to relax. So I think it's a fabulous idea. I also would alternate between the red light and the blue light because they give you such different properties. And I think both will help your neck to continue to heal and get better. Wonderful question. Thank you so much. It's a great question. All right. So as you use your Terahertz technology, you may experience increased wellness and vitality. Most people report they feel better right after doing a session. And we've had people who make strides and changes very, very quickly, just like Benet's client with the poison ivy in just a couple of sessions, blistering, itchy, looking painful, lesions were gone just with the wand for a couple of sessions. So something amazing is happening with terahertz. We're seeing it every single day. So you may notice your cells become more healthy, your tissues become more healthy, your organs become active again, your nervous system becomes unblocked. It's just really nice. Try doing it 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. Let's just go to 5-minute sessions. And the way that you do that is 30 seconds on, take a rest for approximately 30 seconds. It could be longer. All right, so now, when using terahertz light therapy around the eyes, would you suggest eye protection? What do you think?
Close your eyes for sure. Don't have contacts in your eyes if you're going to be, putting
right, because those could dry out.
Sure, they could stick to or whatever the eyeball. So don't remember that, if you wear contacts. But I've seen many testimonials where people have gotten their cataracts dealt with, improved vision, and they're not using any type of a eyewear gear in order to blow over the eyes, but you got to keep the eyes closed.
Yeah, we've had people report that their vision has improved significantly. That one that went to the eye doctor, and the eye doctor couldn't explain why they were moving from a stronger prescription to a weaker prescription. And she had been closing her eyes and terahertzing around the eye. You never have to really go directly on something like that, because just working around it is going to give you all the frequency that you need. The body is deeply interconnected. Any frequency application, even if you do it at your tiny pinky toe, is going to affect your entire body because the bloodstream is connected, the connective tissue is connected, all the fascia is connected. So really anywhere that you're applying terahertz is going to make a profound difference. So the last thing that we really need to do is shine it directly in the eye, especially if it could overheat the eye or if it could, affect it from looking at it in some negative way. And also, a lot of the eye activity, the nervous activity, is at the back of the head. So working around the occiput, the location of the optic chiasm, where we have the nerves that are located in that, you have eyes in the back of your head kind of thing. So those are things to think about. And it's a very excellent question. Thank you so much for that great question. Keep those questions coming, even if they seem odd or you would never, ask this question. We love your questions. They help give some conversation. So going back to some basics, because some people are brand new, is we recommend that you start your day. Now, some people recommend that you go outside and you go out on the morning dew, early in the morning, like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning when you still have that dew on the grass. And you put your feet on the ground. And part of that is so that your kidney 1 point gets grounded, gets exposed to all of these negative ions. And you can do something similar if you can't get outside, or maybe after you walk around outside, come back inside and take about 30 seconds to 1 minute on each one of these points called kidney 1, also called the bubbling brook. If you meet anybody, or bubbling spring, if you meet anyone in Chinese medicine, they will tell you you should work on this point all the time. If you're sitting watching TV or a YouTube video, you should be working on this point by massaging it. You should be working on it with your terahertz technology. You should be working on it with, maybe something that can do acupressure, things like that. It's so important. It's the main kidney point, and the kidney point is all about your jing, all about your energy, all about your vital force. So by constantly doing things to this point to open up the energy, it's anti-aging, it's rejuvenating, it's giving you back your wellness and your vitality. You can kind of, after a while of working on this point, I found that I would be drawn intuitively to that. I would get this almost like it's not an itching, but like this feeling that it needs to be massaged, this feeling that it needs to be worked on. So it can kind of speak to you after a while, but it's a wonderful point to work on with your wand or your box. So blow energy over the kidney one. We're going to show another significant point here, which is, and how to do it would be, you could do like a circular motion. So you could take this and you could do sort of clockwise circles to put in all that good energy. As Benet has mentioned to us, when you're trying to take something out, bad energy out, you can go counterclockwise. That kind of has a pulling energy. So if there was something that you wanted to like remove, and then the same thing, you could do it with the box. You can just do this clockwise energy around that kidney one. So I think we'll just reduce this maybe to 30 seconds, and you could probably just get it done in 30 seconds on the left and right foot. And then you can work on this fabulous point right in the center of your palm. This is called pericardium 8. It's another major point that would really benefit from you working with your terahertz. So taking the terahertz, clockwise 30 seconds, clockwise 30 seconds, it's going to open up all the energy in your body. It's going to help you to have reduced stagnation. Stagnation of blood in the body is the source of pain. It's the source of suffering. When you feel better in your body, it's because you've reduced this stagnation. You've helped the blood to begin to flow more healthfully again. So again,
the other idea that I'm sitting here thinking about is, why not run on the genius, those points, get into a habit and just pull those points up and run the frequencies for those points right from your genius.
That's a great idea. I love it.
As you're wanting and doing that. You know, if anybody's like me, I get these ideas and then I forget them when I'm doing
So that's it's an excellent idea. We'll show it on the Genius in a moment. And you would go to the kidney meridian, and then you would tap on the kidney meridian, and it will show all the points. Now, those won't be in numerical order, so you'll have to look for it. And then you can even look on the chart. You can see all the meridians that are showing on the chart. And then you can put that one into the quick zap. And usually I'll mix that up with other things like 528 hertz or maybe 852 hertz. And I'll put those three together and run them all together, because it's highly beneficial to sort of mix and match and put all that energy together. And we can talk about why we would use those. We have another question here, wonderful questions coming in. Christina says, I have a cyst on each ovary. And remember, things like cysts, we've talked about this a lot, like in the practitioner courses for hormones. And a lot of times cysts are forming due to estrogen dominance. So something to think about, there may be a progesterone deficiency, or through the diet, there may be an excess of estrogen, or there may be an impediment to breaking it down, which means we have to activate the liver, get the liver more active in order to be better at breaking down those harmful estrogens. Okay, but one is 8 centimeters and the other one is 3 centimeters and growing about 1 centimeter on the large every 2 months. Well, Christina, we'd love to help you get on a plant-based diet. We did a great series of classes called High Vibe Nutrition. If you're not on a plant-based diet, whether it's my course or any course you get your hands on, any videos you could watch on YouTube, I'm going to highly urge you to learn about a plant-based diet. It's going to be your best bet, because you got a lot of estrogenic activity with this growth trajectory. And maybe you're plant-based already. I don't know, but I would not eat any chicken, fish, meat, dairy, eggs, because you will be able to much more easily deal with this particular issue. Now, all of that said, yes, you can use the terahertz I probably would do short sessions. I would probably do maybe not just over the ovary. I think for you, what I would recommend is you look at our lymphatic drainage points, you look at our Chinese meridian points. I would work around the area. I wouldn't feel comfortable working directly on the area, but around sort of a circumference or around the liver. Working on the lymphatic drainage points, working on the Chinese medicine points, I think would be profound. But I have to be really truthful with you. A plant-based diet is your very best bet to slow, and I've seen it happen numerous times. You will be amazed. But you could definitely use the terahertz, and these are great, great questions. Okay, I have oral cancer, says Charles. Again, we don't make any claims to cure anything. We're just going to be benefiting things with frequency. I think you guys all know the deal there. Would there be a preference for using red light or blue light? Benay, any ideas?
And intuitively, without really overthinking it, I would say to alternate between the two. In reality, I really don't know what to say, which one would be targeting that more. So use your intuition, but if it were me, what comes to mind is just alternate between the two.
Whenever you're dealing with something, we did this in practitioner level 2, which is called healing chronic cases, is you always want to be thinking around the issue instead of just going for the issue. So in other words, oral cancer, what happened? Why did this happen? And we want to look for some breakdown in liver capacity, some breakdown in the immune system, especially like all the, the tumor necrosis factor and all the natural killer cells. And so we want to work backwards. And it's like, no matter what type of cancer, obviously that's in the mouth, but we'd still work on the digestive system to reduce inflammation. We still work on the liver to help the liver to better support the immune system. We work on the immune system directly. So these are the things we want to think about. But as Benay said, you can alternate red light. Remember, red light, mitochondria. What do you need your mitochondria for? Well, it runs all the cells of your body. You need all those cells working perfectly for your body to heal. What does blue light do? Blue light has an affinity for the immune system. You need to boost that immune system. I would really look into castor oil packs. One of my greatest mentors in naturopathic medicine, if anybody had a cancer or any affliction almost anywhere in the body, this doctor would use, if you had rheumatoid arthritis, he was having you sleep with castor oil gloves on your hands. If you had cancer, he was having you do castor oil pack on your liver every night. I mean, maybe you can start to read about oil pulling with castor oil. He would just do castor oil anywhere the affliction was. He would use castor oil. So it's something that you can think about. Now, I love this picture of the reflexology points. You could also terahertz the entire foot and look at all of these different places that you can look for healing through activation on the different points. And you don't have to press the points. You could just show the light to the different points, and that's going to open them up. Although people who are adept in acupressure are really amazing. People who do this type of foot acupressure, they literally do all of their healing through the feet, and they can feel with their very sensitive hands over time exactly where the blockage is. They'll feel a roughness or sort of a tight fascia in the foot, and they'll know that's related to that particular organ. They can even tell you a lot of things about your health just from doing this sort of feeling of where the rough points or the block points are on the feet. Have you ever had reflexology, Benay?
Oh yeah. I've got a friend, you know her. We both know her.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's remarkable at how powerful it is just to work on the feet.
Yeah, it is. And one other thing I want to mention before I forget it on the oral
please.
cancer, what came to mind is, I don't know, Charles, if you have the dental libraries, but with oral cancer, I would be looking into those dental libraries.
That's a good recommendation.
Yeah, what do you think, Dr. Ariel?
No, that's a great recommendation.
I think something may be going on from cavitations, and who knows what.
Yeah, that biological dental course really goes in detail into all of those. That's on the website. You get the course and get the libraries with that really powerful discussion of root canals and cavitations and all of the different supplements and things you want to use to keep your teeth healthy. Okay, another look at the hands. Quite amazing how amazingly that we're made with all these little sort of holographic things around our body where we have everything, all the organs and glands are on the feet, all the organs and glands are on the hand, so you could treat the whole person also through the hand. And there's a lot of Korean health practitioners that treat sort of through the hand, and the points on the hand. So in this case, we can clear blocks from the palm, blocks from the feet, and it's just a great way to do an initial clearing. We've done these Chinese meridian points along with the lymphatic drainage points, which I believe we're going to talk about soon. And some people say their pain is gone by the time they get through these 2 points and the lymphatic drainage points, that they're not even hurt. Their knees and shoulder pain has gone away by the time they just sort of cleared the body. And remember, when you're applying those terahertz, it's affecting every part of your body. There's no part that's going to be shielded from the effects of the terahertz because the whole body is so interconnected, which is great. Because applying it one place will help it everywhere. So yes, then the next thing after you did the palms and you did the kidney 1 on the feet would be to move on to the lymphatic drainage. So your lymphatic system is an amazing system of the body that picks up a lot of waste that comes out of the cells and moves it through the lymphatic channels. Also checks a lot of this fluid, goes through checks for the immune system to see if there's any bacteria or viruses, like through the lymph nodes, to see if you can get that disabled or cleared out of the body. So lymphatic system is extremely important. What's important about it is to keep it moving, keep the energy open. Some people do that through stretching, yoga, skin brushing, things like that. And so what we would do is we would take the terahertz and we would apply it. We have a picture here. So we would apply it to the different places where there's a lot of lymphatic chain, a lot of lymphatic material there. So it'd be like the sides of the neck, underneath the arms, around the groin, even around the abdomen. This is an area where we have a lot of the lymphatic material, a lot of lymphatic tissue, and behind the knees. That's an interesting one. So under the arms, behind the knees. Oh, in the elbow crease is another one. And then the groin, and then around the neck. And with the neck, we tend to recommend that you don't do directly on your thyroid, which was sort of like just the sides of the neck and maybe not directly here, just in case somebody does have a goiter and you don't know, then you're really increasing the blood flow possibly. So just be cautious about that. Use common sense, less is more. Okay, and then another thing you can do after the lymphatic drainage points is you can do these main meridian channels. So just around the midline of the body, you have a very powerful meridian called the conception vessel. And that's going to go through that main central anterior front channel of the body. It's a lot to do with hormones, digestion, just like you would expect. And then you have the back governing vessel, which is another major meridian. So being able to take that terahertz and just run it up and down, on that vertical plane, like that's really powerful to open up those 2 channels on the back and the front. So imagine you're working on someone, 30 seconds left on the bottom of the foot, 30 seconds on the right foot, 30 seconds on the left palm, 30 seconds on the right palm, maybe 15 seconds left and right on that lymphatic areas, like left and right, 15 seconds here, 15 seconds there. Your client, your family member, whoever you're working on, they're going to feel different, by the time you're through the lymphatic drainage, and then you move on to these main meridian channels. They may want to lie down and take a nap afterwards. Like, this is really powerful. In a short amount of time, you can do a lot of good. And you could actually set your genius up first, take your aura in the beginning, and then do the session we just talked about and run some genius frequencies. Maybe just run all 9 of the solfeggio tones while you're doing your terahertz. And then after you've done that, take a look at the aura and see how the aura has changed. It'd be really fascinating. Now for this, with the aura in the genius, for this purpose, you'd have to actually take another picture. So after you're done, you'd have to take another picture voice and do a fresh aura. The reason is a little bit complicated to explain, but your genius isn't really rechecking the person per se. They're actually doing a mathematical calculation. If you run the genius for 5 minutes on all 9 solfeggios, this is what we predict the aura will look like. And the prediction is almost always spot on. So I hope I didn't make it too confusing, but if you did want to see the after aura, you'd want to do the session and then take a new voice and picture. Vinay, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
A little bit of a different way of thinking.
Right.
Interesting that we find that the terahertz helps to reduce blood viscosity. So it's going to help that blood to flow better. Again, we can't make any medical claims, but what's really fascinating is if you look at some of our past terahertz, we've shown testimonial pictures, and you have people with really intense varicose veins, those ones that are really like, you see them on the surface, they're protruding. And then after a couple of sessions, they've calmed down. They're no longer protruding. Looks like the vessels are getting smaller. The varicose veins are healing. And so that would be explained by this sort of improvement in circulatory health. I think it mostly opens up energy. It helps to reduce that stagnation. When there's stagnation in a pond or a waterway, right, you see all the algae there's no movement. You feel like there's no oxygen happening. And when the blockage is removed and the water in a river starts moving, the water is clear, everything's flowing, everything's healthy. That's how it is with your body. Your pain is the body's request for oxygen. And so you're really able to open up the energy with terahertz and get the energy flowing. High frequency vibration creates a powerful therapeutic movement within the cells, which is exactly what we're talking about. The sort of exercise of the cells help to tone up the cells and increase the excretion of water. So this would be an unhealthy sort of toxic water that gets excreted from the body. So people may sort of urinate more in the first 24 hours. What you want to do is definitely drink more water anyway, because you really want to start flushing out any toxins that you may be clearing from the body from using your terahertz wand or box. Okay, does the client need to be unclothed for the conception and governing vessels? Absolutely, they don't need to. As we mentioned, you really, as a practitioner, especially maybe being a lay practitioner, just want them to work on that midline and back, and they absolutely can. You do not have to, it'll work through the clothing absolutely fantastically. Okay, terahertz waves powerfully activate the cell metabolism, reduce blood viscosity, which is that when everything's sort of just standing there stagnant, enhances cell regeneration and may help to slow the process of aging because it seems to reduce that free radical production. All right, and blue light, now this might be good for Charles. So the wand runs terahertz energy through blue light. So beautiful blue light, kind of see it here. It's a high energy, high penetration, visible light with a wavelength from 300 to 380 to 500 nanometers. Blue light has been associated with the ability to kill bacteria. Interesting. Help to create a good environment, grow new cells, promote the production of collagen. Imagine if in the past couple of years it was like, oh my gosh, you have this issue, just use some blue light. Just get yourself in front of blue light. Wouldn't that have been fabulous for everybody if they could have just terahertz themselves with some blue light and all of this could have just gone away quickly and quietly. It's antimicrobial. It runs the light from the wand or the box. The box also runs blue light. Let's see if we can see that. See that blue light on there. All right, so you can run it around the abdomen for any type of gut infections. You could run it, and actually this goes back to Charles's question. So for around the jaw, for any tooth infections, you could run it like around here, also around here. A lot of the infections get into the lymphatics here. And so it's nice to be able to take that terahertz and actually run it right underneath. You may be able to get some drainage of those fluids from sort of improving the movement there. And over the kidneys, go slow. Again, 30 seconds is plenty. Rest your wand or your box afterwards and rest your body. But if you can look on a anatomical picture of the body, you can kind of see at the lower part of like ribs 10, 11, 12 in the back, you can see where the kidneys are located. And you can run maybe 30 seconds on the left kidney, 30 seconds on the right kidney. Now, we're not making any claims that we're going to heal anything. Again, this is just for wellness and improving vitality, but you never know what's possible when you improve the physiology of the body. Now, the core box, as we've been showing you, is a unique and very cool technology. That's sort of the next advancement in terahertz. We've sort of talked about how to use it. And it's got red and blue light. It's got 5 terahertz chips. It's more efficient at cooler temp. It's not more efficient than warmer temperatures, but it's just more efficient than maybe the wand at these cooler temperatures because it has those 5 chips in there. As a low and a high setting, it has that nice high heat setting. Again, 30 seconds, then let it rest. All right, let's talk about some red light benefits, then we'll take some final questions and we'll sort of wrap up for the evening. It feels so good to be back today though, Benet, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Feels like we were on a nice vacation. We got a little refresh and it's good to be back. And so we're gonna keep going here, but just set your calendar. We won't be here next week, but we will be there the following week. So we'll get you the Zoom reminders and everything. But we absolutely love having you. And in between our live sessions, we'd love to get questions from you, Ariel at geniusbiofeedback.com. Now there's no coupon, but if you check geniusbiofeedback.com and look at the Terahertz technology, we'll get the link in there in just a moment, you will find that there are some special pricing. So you don't even need a coupon. You can just go to geniusbiofeedback.com, click on shop, and then click on Terahertz, and you're gonna see some very special wonderful pricing for the Terahertz that you can get even without a coupon today until the end of the week. So definitely check that out. Okay, assist the mitochondria red light, helps to reduce wrinkles, fine lines, and even age spots, helps the hair growth to improve. So if you have any hair thinning, alopecia, just aging, gentlemen might be losing their hair, they wanna just go ahead and you can Terahertz the whole area around the scalp. It really, a lot of the pictures that we've looked at of people in the Terahertzing community have made really a lot of progress in working on the scalp and their hair. May help to clear acne, and just a couple more Terahertz exercises for you. This is a little known exercise that you can do that comes out of the osteopathic profession, and osteopaths do gentle manipulation of different areas of the body, and there's one little release point around the fibula. So this is the fibula, it's a supporting bone to your tibia, which is that main bone of the leg. And this little guy here, this is the head of the fibula up here. So you want to take your Terahertz and spend about 30 seconds in a circular motion around that fibula on the right side, around the fibula on the left side, and you're going to feel probably a soft tissue release. It's very profound because a lot of people, they really in their gait, because of the hips being out of alignment or whatever it might be, they get sort of a locking up of adhesions, buildup of fascia around this area. And when it releases, you feel fantastic. You can also do it at the level of the ankles below. So you could do on the outer part of the ankle and the inner part of the ankle with the Terahertz for about 30 seconds. Very relaxing. In fact, if you did this whole series on someone, they'd probably want to lie down and take a long nap afterwards because it's immensely relaxing. So if you worked on the feet, you worked on the palms, you worked on the lymphatic drainage points, you work on the Chinese meridians, the governing meridian, the conception vessel, then you work on these fibular points, man, that person is going to feel amazing. They're going to feel really good. And it was so simple to do, super, super simple to run this. Okay, another one is, yeah, to work on the outer ankle and the inner ankle, just like we said. And here we're just saying 15 seconds. Okay, and we already talked about working on the lymphatic channels, magical stuff to do. And here's a couple more points for you. So you can work on large intestine 11. This is on the outside. You can see it's close to the go from the elbow crease and you go out just a little bit and you're going to feel that sore point. It's sort of a little bit away from the actual elbow itself. So you're kind of going off a little bit and you can kind of, your finger will just fall into, and this is large intestine 11. So you could massage it. You could run the Terahertz over it. You're going to clear heat from the body, resolves dampness. Dampness is that kind of stagnation. It regulates chi and blood, so you feel more calm. And again, you could do it with the wand. This is going to be probably a little awkward for the person to do their own with the wand. But actually, I think if you hold the wand here, that's a lot easier, right? To get it to manipulate, and then you can use it also with this. I guess, Benet, this is a good time maybe to share the 2 stands that you recommend. The first stand would be for the wand and the second stand would be for the box. Would you be able to do that?
Sure, sure.
Okay, we're going to take any final questions, and we're also going to get links, product links in here. So does anybody have any final questions or comments, or would anybody like to share a testimonial of how this has been working for them? We'd love to hear any of your comments or questions, and we're going to show the website. Actually, we have some great testimonials on the website. We would love to have your testimonial as well. Let's see if we can. Everything in Zoom is sometimes frustrating here. Let's see if we're just going to go here for a second. All right, well, we don't want that product. We want to go here. Okay, fabulous. So right on the web page, you can read more about Terahertz technology on this page. Let's go here. And so let's just go ahead and give this link, because this will take you to all of the products. Please share this link with a friend. We do give a 10% affiliate. We've been paying that out, 10% affiliate commission. So if you want to refer people, send us a message so we could set you up on that plan, get you the 10% commission. Or if you know that somebody has purchased, get in touch with us and we'll get you that 10%. We also have a lot of resources here. So we have an ebook, we have the guide for the core box, and we have the guide for the wand. We also have our past videos, as well as all of the different types of products that we offer and all the different mixing and matching of the products. Okay, and Benet has put, what's the first product you put in there? Is that for the wand? Oh, thank you. That's the box stand. Okay, perfect. And Christina said, do you go clockwise for dampness? So the clockwise really is it's just a positive motion. Do you know in India, if you've ever visited India, they usually sit and a lot of times they eat with their hands. Well, the only hand that they will allow you to eat with is your right hand, because it has to do with the flow of the body. And they really feel that for putting in really nourishing, positive energy, you should be eating with the right hand of the body. And when you're doing something like you want to remove something or take it out, it's sort of a negative energy, very prejudicial to eat with the left hand. So if they would get absolutely flabbergasted in India if you went into the mess hall or whatever and you sat down traditionally and you were eating with your left hand, they would be stressed out. And you can kind of get in touch with the feeling between the left and the right hands of the body and how they feel, and then sort of settle in, get in touch with sort of a clockwise motion versus a counterclockwise motion. Do you have anything else you want to say, Benet, about clockwise and counterclockwise?
No, just you've already said it. Typically, as I've been trained, typically when you take, even trained in tuning forks or whatever, you take and do the counter to be drawing and pulling things out, and to put things in, you do the clockwise motion. But, with these terahertz, I mean, you don't have to be so specific actually.
That's true.
The circular motion.
That's a good point.
The frequencies and the blowing, you're getting it. You really don't have to be worried about doing that per se.
Yeah, it's so easy. I mean, I think that's what people really like, is that it's so easy. Other things we have to teach you about the genius, what to do. Of course, Benet's such an instrumental part of that. Figure it out, practice it, big learning curve. Terahertz, you just switch it to the on position. You're ready to roll, which is really nice. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being part of our Terahertz training. Feels so good to be back. We're not going to be back next week, but we're going to be back the following week, and you'll get all the Zoom notifications. If there's anything that we could do to improve this, or if there's a topic you'd like us to talk about in relation to Terahertz, let us know. Oh, that's what I meant to do, is I meant to go to the core box. And I wanted to really we would love your reviews. We actually have 7 reviews on this product, and we would certainly love your review. Psoriasis cleared up, working on toe fungus. Husband bruises are healing better, reduction in inflammation. Diane was awesome. She wrote us the longest review ever. All the things that have been happening positive for her and her husband. So check out those reviews. And if you just go there to write a review, we certainly do appreciate it if you've had a positive experience of the terahertz. It's just really fun to see everybody's review on there. And it's really exciting to see that people have had such a positive experience. Okay, well, we thank you for joining us so very, very much. And Benay, thank you for helping me tonight. It was wonderful to have you here. And we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye for now, everybody. Have a good night.